Greetings, everybody. Welcome back to Switch to Linux. How is everybody doing this evening? Let's have a quick look over here, make sure my stats and my stream health is looking good. So far looks good. Oh, let's see. Hello, Piggy Uniform. Hello, Mark. Hello, is it... Oh, you told me this. Is it NI, I think. NI? Or NI, I think. Hello? Hello, Diego. Hey, man, I warned you, Piggy Uniform, about what time I was streaming this today. You install Ubuntu, man, not me. Yeah, that's cool. That's cool. Hopefully you'll get a chance to get on there. Okay, good. You are on the phone. Awesome. Hey, there you go. There you go. That works. All right, so we have, oh, hello, Esqueleto. How's it going there? Okay, so we have a fun little stream today. We are talking about net neutrality is in uber trouble. I just left my basic generic weekly news roundup for my title screen, but actually I want to introduce a new concept we're going to do. Of course, I threw it way at the bottom of my OBS screen. I'm going to move that up. Way up. Come on. A little up further. A little up further. Good enough. All right. So we are going to address a question near the end of this, assuming I remember. Our question is this, and this comes from a news article. Why are more people not signing up for live TV streaming services? And I apologize if I accidentally missed a space in there. It almost looks like I did on a preview there, but I remembered to throw my title screen up there at the last minute. So that's why I was 1 minute late starting the stream. But why is it more people? And the question is, why is it more cord cutters and more cord nevers are not signing up for streaming services? So be thinking about that. Throw some comments in there if you haven't, or if you've had conversations, or if you have any general philosophies. We'll bring this in because it's going to have a lot to do with net neutrality at the end of this. But we're curious as to this. So if you don't know what the concept is, a cord cutter is a person who has canceled their cable services. And a cord never is a person who's never signed up for cable services. So I am an example of a cord never. I have never purchased cable services. One apartment I had actually included a basic cable package with rent, and I plugged the TV in once after I laboriously looked around for a coaxial cable. I watched an episode of TV and then realized, why I don't watch a lot of TV. I catch a few episodes online here and there, but for the most part, I'm not all that big into cable services. I just haven't been a fan of that. I actually haven't watched television since about 1995 on a regular basis. So we're going to be looking at that as a general question. Of course, you can check out switchtolinux.com, and eventually I will be updating more content and adding things to that site. And of course, you can support the site on Patreon or on Amazon. So with that, what we are going to jump into here today are topics. Of course, Uber. Hate that company. There's like some Uber news, like somebody accused of an Uber driver accused of raping their passenger. How is that news? I mean, it just happens every week, doesn't it? Anyway, family uses Kodi thanks to me, which we have adding and just watch on there. Yeah, Kodi is awesome. And I love Kodi. Got to fix my camera there. It's a little lagging there. Kodi is absolutely awesome if you have not used that. And what I like putting on Kodi is top documentary films, which that plugin doesn't work all that well. The TED Talks plugin is great. There's a few other ones out there that are good. And then that way you can watch a lot of different things through services. Although most of those actually go through YouTube as the basic services. But nevertheless, it's a very nice application, and that's actually what I had going for a long time. It's a media center. I'm actually going to eventually, I have a Raspberry Pi 2 here, and I'm actually eventually going to get a Raspberry Pi 3 and rebuild my Kodi Center on Raspberry Pi 3. In the meantime, I'll just create a Kodi Media Center on that and plug that in when I need it. But yeah, that's an awesome thing to do. And I have a couple videos for computer scale and for Raspberry Pi scale on how to do that. All right. So Uber. We're going to talk about Mylan, of course, the company behind the EpiPen and the EpiPen scandal. And I'm going to be asking another fun question. Why is it that some of these people are just not in jail? Like, what is it going to take to get some of these companies and just say, you're done. Just go. You're done. All right? You're done. You're fraudulent. You're jerks. You're mean. You're scandalous. So much stuff has happened in your company intentionally doing things. What point do we just take these CEOs and throw them in jail? Be done with them. Just be done with them. Please. Not everybody. Not everybody's crazy and corrupt, but some of them certainly are. And we're going to look at some of this today. And then, of course, our top story, we're going to talk about net neutrality, and I have about 17 million of those. A new scam has been developed. I'm going to educate you on a new scam and how you can overcome that. And we're going to look at some creepy things coming up in privacy. Fitbit data being used to identify when somebody was murdered, of course, because they can track all of that data. That's scary. And Amazon Echo is becoming closer and closer to the 1984 teleprompt screen. And, of course, we're going to look at the interesting question, is a passcode protectable by the Fifth Amendment? We'll look at a little bit of security stuff, and then one final article that I was just like, whatever. Fire inbound. Yeah, fire will be inbound. Absolutely. When politicians stop taking money from them. Yes, if you did not watch the video on corporatocracy, I think it was on Sunday, that was a fabulous video there. So, with all further ado, and once again, I'm going to use my animated backgrounds here, and if it happens that I'm getting stuttering, let me know in the comments as soon as possible. I'll take the animated background off, but I've not had that problem for a while, so hopefully we are going to be good. So let's just dive right on into Uber. I'm going to try and keep this in at right about an hour because I have a boatload of stuff I still have to do tonight. So I'm going to try and keep this right around an hour. We'll see what happens. Next on the news, Game Boys start tracking people's locations. I am not surprised in the slightest, but I've not heard that one yet. I'm not surprised, though. Of course, everything since it's being so connected. So first, we're going to have a look at Uber. So you had an Uber app. You put it on your phone. You're like, Uber's crazy, too high chance of getting raped, too high chance of other corruption stuff, damaging to the world, corporate bullies, absolute jerks. So let's just get rid of this crap. You take it off, and Uber just keeps on tracking you. There's some finagling that they did in the iPhone code that allowed them to continuously track users even after the app was gone, which basically meant it didn't support anything. So as long as you had any location services turned on your phone at all, Uber could continue to track you. That's kind of scary. Of course, they also were buying Lyft receipts and just doing all sorts of fun things like that. It's a joke, not serious, but it can happen from ones you buy from eBay. Yeah. I would not be surprised if any new portable handheld basic game does. In fact, any game that connects to the internet, to an app, or anything else is most likely tracking your data. In fact, I was just so flustered by this. The only game I really play a lot of is Warcraft 3, like back from 20 years ago. And even they just keep on doing game updates. And now, to do the game update, to play it online, you have to agree to their EULA. So I decided to flip through their EULA. Like, you agree that to let them scan through your RAM as you're playing the game to make sure you're not cheating. It's like, dude, I'm not playing a tournament. I'm just playing with my game. And yes, we're cheating. I have hacked my maps, and we're fun with our hacked maps. Deal with it. All right. With all that being said, though, what we're going to do here is just have a look down here. So fingerprinting iPhones, of course, this is something that's like a really big no-no. But basically what Uber was able to do is track down based upon this. So you have an iPhone, and based on the number of apps, how you use it, the time you use it, the day you use it, all this creates a fingerprint of your phone. In fact, it's the same thing that a browser will use, and this is the purpose behind Tails, is to produce an anonymous system by producing a browser that has the exact same fingerprint. And so the Tails group, they put together the system in such a way that it looks like the fingerprinting is all the same as long as you're not making a lot of changes. So Uber was doing the same thing, so they can basically pinpoint each individual person as their own individual app user. So that's kind of something that they were doing. And basically it was just means to track more people, see what's going on, and all this. Of course, targeting Lyft, this is something that they've always been doing. Of course, it was released that they have their Hell app that was actually literally tracking people and trying to basically squirrel away Lyft's customers. So Uber is just kind of being a little bit of a jerk. But then they don't like it when people steal moves out of their own playbook. So a bunch of Atlantic City taxi cabs, they decide, well, hey, we're just going to borrow some stuff from what Uber does, and we're just going to go ahead and grab some apps, and they were able to utilize a loophole to create an Uber account so that when somebody was looking for an Uber, all of a sudden a taxi was the closest thing. Because an Uber driver is not allowed to park outside casinos in Atlantic City, but taxi cabs are. And so, by utilizing a loophole, the taxi drivers were able to create Uber accounts and then get people into the taxis and then probably just use the taxi service. Who knows what they would use? It would depend. But regardless, Uber's like, how dare you get around our system? How dare you try and do this? We're going to sue you. Well, that's a little bit of the pot calling the kettle black. How many lawsuits is Uber involved in right now? I have literally lost count. Okay? Uber is such a slimy company. In fact, they're such a slimy company, I have to go on fire right now. Uber is so slimy. Like, they are not screening their drivers. It was found like 30,000 Uber drivers have failed basic background checks. They're allegedly stealing information from Google for their self-driving cars. And then, of course, they're trying to plead the fifth, so we can't do anything about it. They're ripping off their, we covered this 2 weeks ago, I think, where they're ripping off their drivers by charging the customers for a longer route and paying the drivers for a shorter route. And then basically defrauding the drivers by paying them of the lesser of the two and charging the customer the greater of the two. The CEO is absolutely corrupt. In fact, I believe I don't think I looked at it, but I believe the CEO is planning to step down now. The president, of course, is like, I need leadership help. No, you need humanity help. Just please go leave. Like, reptilian aliens will go and take you away somewhere. Just go. All right, this is a slimy, slimy company, and it would behoove us all to stop using them. Put companies out of business by stopping using them. That is how capitalism is supposed to work. We're supposed to purify our own market system by this kind of stuff. Stop using Uber. All right. Which they're probably going to sue me now for denigration. No, everything I'm quoting is from news articles. Go away. Of course, good news, apparently, they are actually making it easier to delete their account. And this was something that was trumped up, so I'm going to be nice to Uber for a second. I went on fire, that's okay. We're going to be nice to Uber for just a second. It used to be like when you had to delete the app, you still had to call them to delete the you still need to call them to delete the actual account. And people are like, oh, what's that? I'm not too concerned about that. The reason I'm not all that concerned about that is, that's how credit card companies are. You can cut your credit card up. You still have to call them and close your account. I'm not all that concerned about that. But they do have this new app capability that is rolling out soon that will allow you to delete everything directly from the app. So you can close down your account without having to call them in. And so, this is the good news of Uber. At least they're doing something. Now, some people have said, well, this is because of all the delete Uber stuff. Uber says, no, this is something we've had in the plans for a long time. And I have no reason not to believe that. So, maybe they're moving towards some things. Maybe if they do boot out their president and get some CEO or somebody with integrity up there, maybe the company could turn around. But for now, it's just like, why should we use that company? they've made it very clear that they're willing to just walk all over people to get whatever they want, and that is not the type of company we need in America. The more companies do that kind of stuff, the worse this country is going to be. So, keeping that in mind. Speaking of horrible companies, you retracted your message. I know what your message was, Piggy Uniform, but you retracted it, so I won't say it. All right, so on to crazy, slimy companies. Mylan. Covered Mylan for a while. But Mylan is like, of course, the EpiPens. What's come out this week, CEO with Integrity, there's not many of them, but there's a few out there. The companies we don't hear much about, those are the ones that might have some integrity, maybe. So it came out that Mylan jumping the price hikes on the EpiPen wasn't even just about corporate greed. It was far worse. It was about stamping out the competition, doing antitrust, and literally paying off people to make sure that the EpiPen was the only available auto injector. Yeah. Paying off people. A lot of it was paying off some lawmakers, but for the most part, it was paying off insurance companies so they can raise the price and then offer the price differential and kickbacks to insurance companies and other and school districts and things to basically to offer the drug for slightly cheaper. But of course, the condition to utilizing the Really Piggy Uniform. Let me actually show you my screen because it actually says it has been... I'm wondering, is this YouTube messing with stuff? Here's the comment feed. And you can see here it says message retracted. I didn't do that. I thought you wanted to retracted your message. Yeah. Maybe YouTube is retracting your messages for you. Oh no! YouTube is censoring my viewers! That's scary. All right. So basically it came out that schools, in order for a school to qualify for the discount for the EpiPens, which of course the government now has to pay the differential between what the school pays and to that. So now the government's paying Mylan more, but to have a school enabled to use the EpiPen, they have to agree not to purchase any of the competing products, which is absolutely ludicrous. And so a company comes out saying, hey, we have this thing, and literally Mylan sues a state for removing EpiPens from their preferred list because of their sliminess. Can we just take the CEO and throw her in jail for a while? Just throw her in jail. Either that or find something she's allergic to and whatever, and give it a small proportion of her income and see how she likes it, Because frankly, people can't afford these EpiPens at this price. But the company's going to keep on raking in the dough. Whew. Let's pause right here, get caught up on the comments. All right. Let's see. Yeah, I think that, let's see, so Trump needs presidential help. His appointees certainly do, that's for sure. Let's see, as we will talk about with the FCC. But I don't know, maybe YouTube's CEO might need some presidential help as well. Good morning from 1.5 month Linux user from Denmark. All right. Greetings, welcome Denmark. Net neutrality is full of Uber puns. Although, if net neutrality goes away and the ISPs decide to throttle all bandwidth to Uber, I might be all for this. That'd be awesome, right? Greetings and salutations. All right. YouTube is a Trump fan, I guess. No, actually. In fact, Computing Forever had two videos opposite each other. One of those is why you shouldn't vote for Clinton. One of those is why you shouldn't vote for Trump. The one that why you shouldn't vote for Trump remained fully monetized, and the one why you shouldn't vote for Clinton was completely permanently demonetized. It was the same satirical video, just changing the name around, so that's kind of funny. I don't know, though. That's kind of interesting. Censored Tube, yeah. Hello, Robert. YouTube's against Trump. Yes, I'm pretty sure they are. I'm pretty sure most media is against Trump, for, better or for worse. Church later is watching you, Piggy. Yes. It's the muscle-bound penguins. Coming with the rulers. Get them knuckles. Really sad, long way I've gone. Yeah, Linux user for 2 years. I actually booted this computer into Windows 8 today intentionally. I've had some old CDs in the closet. I want to see what was in them, and I thought, whatever, I was a Windows user back when they were created, and so I booted them up onto Windows just in case they were something Windows specific or whatever. So that was fun. Hello, Blaster Gaming. How's it going? All right. So, are we ready to get on to our chief topic of net neutrality? Oh boy. Linus Tech Tips. Unfortunately, Linus does everything but Linux. Yeah, that's kind of funny. Actually, the person that I find the funniest, though, is Barnacles, because he'll do all these videos like, this is so bad it's doing, and this is a software program to prevent Windows 10 from spying, and all this prevent from spying. I'm like, I do not want to have to install a third-party software package to prevent my operating system from spying on me. Why in the world are you still on Windows 10? I mean, if you're a chief gamer or you have to run a specific Windows program, fine. Have a Windows computer or whatever else. But, man, I'm telling you, it's like, I watch the videos and I respect the guy, but having all this stuff and sitting here going, oh, yeah, Windows 10, this is how you can block the privacy in Windows 10. No, I want to tell Windows 10 I don't want to use it by voting with my feet and walking on over to Linux. Geez. All right. So, net neutrality. So, I have no idea what type of stuff Agent Pie is smoking. Or what type of doublespeak. Like, if you've read 1984 and you know what newspeak is, how they talk about reversing the things. Like, if they say one thing, the opposite's kind of true. That is, like, exactly the words that come out of this idiot's mouth. Like, he is either thinks that the country is the stupidest group of people, or he is the most imbecilic idiot I've ever seen in the face of the planet. So, he says, net neutrality rules took away your internet freedom. Let me ponder that for a second. Net neutrality rules took away your internet freedom. Do you guys remember what was going up? Now, I realize we're in this culture where we forget things really fast, but let me bring you up to speed. Since the internet was first created, up until some rulings about it expired a couple of years ago, internet was essentially classified as a common carrier, as it's officially classified now. Oh, we keep on having all these messages retracted. Is YouTube getting crazy? All right. But what happened then is, once those little rulings expired, the internet was kind of in this nebulous zone where really anything could go, and then anything went. Comcast started throttling Netflix, because Comcast has a financial interest stake in Hulu, and they were trying to promote Hulu and wean people off of Netflix, and so Comcast throttled Netflix. And there was a big lawsuit about it, and then it came out, and it was right on the heels of that the internet was classified as common carrier, meaning that you had more rules and regulations about how you could handle it. And then they put into place the net neutrality, which the net neutrality, what it did, let's see, one of these articles, I think it's this one. So net neutrality did three things here. Broadband providers may not block access to legal content, applications, services, or non-harmful devices. Okay, so if it was like some illegal website, they could meter that all they wanted. But if it was anything else legal, they could not meter it. Okay? They may not impair or degrade lawful internet traffic on the basis of content, application, services, or any classes therein. And they may not favor internet traffic over other internet traffic in exchange for consideration of any time. So no paid prioritization, no fast lanes, and no saying you can't use Netflix on Comcast because we own a Hulu, or we can't make Netflix horrible and make Hulu good to make you want to buy Hulu instead. That is what net neutrality does. Now, if somebody can explain to me why that interferes with progress on the internet, please explain it to me like I'm a 2-year-old. Because I just don't understand. So, apparently, net neutrality took away our internet freedom. Because net neutrality told Comcast they were not allowed to throttle Netflix. So wait, so I would have freedom to choose Netflix or Hulu, whichever one I wanted, but if I had Comcast prior to net neutrality, I kind of had to go with Hulu because Netflix was being throttled. Until net neutrality, now I have the choice beside which one I want. How? What? Pi, what are you smoking? That's insanity. What is going on? Why is this guy like... Okay, you know who lost out? The ISPs. Because they lost the ability to throttle their competition. Every one of them is getting connected with some type of streaming service. And of course, we do not always have the ability to choose our ISPs. Okay? I do not have any choice in ISPs. Now, there are 4 or 5 different companies I could, in theory, get internet from, but the second highest internet speed is maybe 2 Mbps. We're right now streaming at 4. Okay? I don't have a choice. If I want good broadband internet, sufficient enough to do a live stream on YouTube, or most of my work throughout the day, I have one choice. That is called a monopoly. Asia Pi doesn't seem to understand that. He seems to be a fool. I don't know. Okay. So now he comes out and says, throttling of websites and online services might help customers. Somebody explain this to me. I have to go on fire. 2 flames. How in the world is throttling of websites and online services a help to me? Throttling a website, FYI, means I cannot use one website over another. So if I decide I want Netflix because of whatever, I do not have the option if they are allowed to throttle the service. Okay, so what world is this idiot living in that he thinks throttling a website and online services might help customers? Well, you know what? There's only one place that would possibly help a customer. It is to wean us off of all this crap so we go back and read books again. Get off the internet a little bit, people. Put the flames out. There's a lot of comments came through in that second. Let me go up and have a look at those. Oh, boy. Hard for people to leave what they know is better for worse. Yeah. Before I installed Ubuntu, I tried Play on Linux, more of a test, and got all Windows games to work pretty good. So honestly, you don't really need Windows for all gaming. Yeah, I think it just depends on which games you're playing, and I haven't played a lot of them, but I know for me, a lot of applications I might use, like Adobe CS4 does not work well on Linux. In theory, it works, but the installer doesn't, and I can't get my accounting software to work. So, you know, it's that. Okay, so Barnacle complains about privacy, and even them restricting you from turning tracking off, yet he's still on Windows 10. I instead just installed Ubuntu before the creators update came out. Yeah, and that's why I question Barnacles on that. It's just like, you're complaining about it, you don't like the tracking, why are you still on the system? You know, there's other systems. All right. Fallout New Vegas works well on Wine. Exposed. YouTube as a Windows 10 shell. Windows 8.1, I had to use Pure Block to block out Windows block list to prevent it from spying on me. Yep. New to Linux, but I did a lot of work in chemtrails and also in researching the fake staged event. I also know a lot about censure. I think I'm down at the bottom. So more and more coming forward about reticlins. Reptilians? Reticlins? I don't know. All right. So, with Agent Pice apparently living in either Colorado, Washington, or some other place where something is legal, he's smoking something, leaving him funny conclusions that net neutrality took away our internet freedom, but that throttling websites is actually going to help us. So he just decided that he's going to go ahead and unveil his new plan to kill net neutrality, because why not? You know, kill this net neutrality. This thing is bad. Choice? No, that's bad. I mean, net neutrality hurts us. It hurts the consumers. It stamps out innovation. No, it doesn't. Killing net neutrality is going to stamp out innovation, because I want to come up with Tom's streaming service, and my ISP is going to block every streaming service except its own favorite one. I don't have a leg to stand on. Now, a huge corporation is going to be able to outcompete me, and I cannot get my small streaming service off the ground because I'm intrinsically blocked. What world is this idiot living in? Sheesh. My USB just lost my entire documents folder. Others still worked, but I can't write. Ugh, that's not cool. I hope you had a backup of that somewhere. All right, so under the current rule, of course, we covered these three things. What he wants, of course, he wants to straight up undo the Title II classification. So the Title II classification is what allows it to be the common carrier service, meaning that the internet ISPs cannot overcharge or anything. All right, so Title I classification was expressly upheld. Let's see. 2014, court held that so long as ISPs are considered information services and not telecommunication services, the commission does not have the authority to put net neutrality rules in place, so they had to qualify that. And that was, and Title II classification for an ISP is a very good thing. All right. So he just wants to get rid of the Title II classification so he can kill this. Of course, here is consumerist idea why this is horrible. All right, so FTC has very limited authority. Let's see. Cannot tell ISPs to stop collecting and selling sensitive user data. So as long as these companies are disclosing the practice in their fine print, that means they rely on ISPs to play nice. All right, so you can read through the rest of the article, but basically what's going to happen is there will be a large hearing period where we can all submit comments, and we're expecting a whole lot of other things. Of course, here's the whole document. This is his fact sheet called Restoring Internet Freedom. This is like newspeak from 1984 on steroids, people. Restoring internet freedom. No, we have internet freedom. Your plan removes internet freedom because it places the ability to control the websites and the traffic into the hands of the ISPs. And because we have an ISP monopoly, we do not have the ability to choose. So basically, if all this goes through, the entire internet will fall under the realm of whatever corporate entity you have available to you at the time. So basically, we have this, here's this whole fact sheet. Of course, this is a 58-page document. I'm not going to go through it here, but I will have this linked in the description below. Now, ISPs love this. So Comcast has released their statement. We fully support the reversal of Title II classification, the 1930 statute that is outdated and harms consumers by creating a cloud over broadband investment decisions and innovation. No. It simply says you can't stomp out your competition, retard. To be clear, we continue to strongly support a free and open internet and preservation of modern, strong, and legally enforceable net neutrality protections. We don't block, throttle, or discriminate against lawful content. Yeah, they can't because it's illegal right now. But they did. This is the company that blocked Netflix for a while. Made it really bad. Of course, Verizon had to come out with their own statement. Verizon supports net neutrality. We've long said our customers should be able to access the internet content and services of their choice. It has been our belief for many years, and nothing has changed. Most importantly, it's what our customers want, and it's vital to success. We also support Chairman Pai's proposal to roll back Title II classification on broadband. Of course, they support net neutrality that protect an open internet without discouraging competition. Okay. AT&T, they say the same thing. Charter, they say the same thing. Here's the problem with all of these statements, okay? If all of these people support the free and open internet, why can we not stick around to what we have right now? Because what we have right now is a free and open internet. The difference is this. If Pi does away with all of this, and now it becomes a industry self-regulation. Okay, industry self-regulation doesn't work, people. If it becomes an industry self-regulation, then what happens is there is now no more governmental control or no more governmental input. And all of these companies, just like they can with their privacy policies, they now have the ability to change their mind at will. That's the problem. They can say whatever they want right now, but if it's all into industry self-regulation, as soon as this goes into effect, they can immediately, the day after, change their mind, start throttling whatever they want to throttle, and the services we know and love will become useless to us. That's the problem. Oh boy. Let's have a look at some comments. Found out that after installing Vividali, the Netflix worked out of the box, but there's a catch. I found out that if I uninstalled Chrome, it breaks Netflix. Yeah, usually on Linux, I thought you would need to use Google Chrome to use Netflix. I do not know, though, because I don't use Netflix. But see if somebody else can help you out with that. I thought I saw something about it soon, so I'll probably see it. Indian tech scammer roots. I'm pretty sure about that. Who is it? Kevin. This is Kevin from Microsoft Technical Support. I think that you all have browsers, have viruses on your computers. I want everybody to go ahead and put your credit card numbers in there so I can charge your credit card numbers for thousands of dollars. Actually, I will charge them out for $999 because anything over that will be flagged by your credit card company. So thank you very much, and then after I get the payment, then I'll be contacting you each to help you with your computer. Okay. Sad thing is I can't recover that. Why can you not? I hope that you had some backup somewhere. You should always run backups, Piggy. Run backups. Alright. We have one of the worst internet in the world, and this is not going to help. No, this is going to make the entire internet and right on down. That's tau feces. Okay. Firefox works well with Netflix now. Oh, that's cool. Get data back thingy. Yeah, check like, I'm not sure, does Recuva, is there, yeah, there's something on Linux that will allow you to recover files, and I've used it before. I forget what it is now, but Dolly is ready to use as a primary web browser. I don't remember. Dolly. Let me see which one that one is again. If I see the logo, I might have a comment on that. Let me have a look. You know, I have not actually used it, so I don't know. And I'm actually still planning a browser wars, so I don't know. That's why you should use a VPN. Well, the problem is if your ISP can throttle traffic, it can throttle traffic to your VPN. So your VPN's out. And so's Tor browser. They can see it's a Tor browser. They can throttle traffic to the Tor browser. So that's out. There's no way around this. If this goes away, there's no way around it. This is why Asia Pi needs to be shown the door. Please leave. We know exactly who's paying you. We'd kindly ask you if you could help pay off the national debt with that. Tor browser is made to see who is the most scared or paranoid. Want to pay $50 extra just to watch YouTube? Yeah. You can watch all the YouTube you want. You just gotta pay a little bit extra. But if you want to use our streaming service, that's going to be included in your bill. Tours to explore the deep web. Friend wanted to play some Minecraft with me as I'm installing Ubuntu. See you later. It will be, Piggy, the rest of the video will be up as soon as we're done. So, undecided. I2P. Yeah, if it goes through your ISP, you're done. That's the problem. That's the problem with this killing of net neutrality thing. So, of course, everybody's all behind that because, yeah, we all kind of want that kind of stuff. All right, and of course, not to be outdone, the inventor of the World Wide Web says gutting net neutrality would let consumers needs a better editor at times, would let ISP pick winners and losers, and that in and of itself is the problem. Okay, so this guy actually worked with Kern when the internet was first happening in '89. And basically, it's, whatever company you are forced to get because it's the only company that provides good internet, you're kind of stuck with whatever they say you can watch or not watch. And that's the problem. So we have to all very publicly and very loudly respond to those comments saying, leave net neutrality where it is. Of course, most people said that, yeah, they're going to take public comments and then they're just going to ignore them because Pi has already made up his mind. He's absolutely has made up his mind. And that's just kind of the way it goes. All right. What's next? Them charging for every website on the internet, separate bundles of website? Yeah, essentially. Well, that was scary. Let's talk about some new scams. This is a new scam that was just essentially identified this week, actually, and it has its endpoint in Philadelphia currently, although it's probably moving around somewhere else. But this was first reported. It might have been actually last week. Let me see. I guess it was first reported on Sunday. So basically, a scammer steals your credit card, and then one of the things that credit card companies will do to make sure that nobody is stealing your data is they're going to take your credit card and they're going to ship something to an alternative address. And so the credit card company looks at this and goes, why is this guy who owns this credit card shipping something to an alternative address? That kind of raises some red flags. So this is good. My debit card, my debit card company, they're a little insane. I have no idea why, but they've flagged my card for possible fraud twice. My card was actually used for fraud once. I caught that. They did not. They flagged my card for possible fraud. This was hilarious. So, I didn't use the card a whole lot because it was with a bank in a different state from where I live, but all of my address was in the same place. I literally drove out to California. I'm in a completely different state. I had a computer breakdown, and so I ordered with my debit card online a replacement part, have it overnight shipped to a completely different address in a completely different state from an out-of-country supplier. No flags, no problem. 6 months later, I use the card, once or twice a month. 6 months later, I'm taking a trip with my little brother. We go to get gas outside the gas station, and it's not taking my card. Okay, let's go and pay cash. So I get a call at 7 in the morning the following day. 7 in the morning the following day. We think there might have been fraud on your credit card. Like, what? The gas station? No, that was me. Oh, no. We shut it down, actually, because of this suspicious charge. It was the Walmart for a $20 purchase that's 1 mile from my mailing address. I told them, don't you ever flag my card for potential fraud again. Let me take charge of this, please. But what's happening here is the scammers are stealing the credit card information. They're ordering parts and sending it literally to the person who's the cardholder. So it gets rid of that credit card flag. And then some package shows up and a person sits there and goes, I don't know what this package is. And so they get contacted back with an email going, oh, this was sent in order. Here's a prepaid return slip. And so you package it up and the FedEx, or maybe it was the FedEx guy, just shows up with the label. And the idea is they take the item and then they ship it out back to home, which ends up being the scammer. So the scammer purchases the product, sends it to you, sends a FedEx truck to relabel it and ship it to the scammer. Works. Most people don't look at their credit card statements, so you see that. You don't get that something's here, so let me help you out with this one. Well, first they're saying, well, double check the return labels. You don't have to do that either. There's a fun little law in the United States that was put into place that prevented people from sending you sample products and then mailing you an invoice for it. And I forget the name of the act, but it's in the Postal Code Acts. And what it basically says in the United States is if a company sends you a product, you have no obligation to pay for it and no obligation to send it back. So if a random computer you're not expecting shows up at your house, you don't gotta send it back. You could fight that in court because you know who this is on? Now, all these orders came from Best Buy. This is actually on Best Buy. Something in their fraud system didn't work. Now, probably the nice thing to do is make sure it goes back to Best Buy. Just make sure it's going back to Best Buy, not the residential house in Philadelphia. But be aware of this scam. It is one that's being used, and as people are getting more and more credit cards hacked, this is a more sophisticated scam than someone taking it and using your credit card with somewhere else. So it's just something to keep an eye on. All right. Now we have to ask some questions about privacy. Actually, I kind of want to keep that article right where we were, about halfway down. Let me just double check our comments. Let's see. No, they can't see anything with a VPN, but they can block where your VPN is going. That's the problem, because your VPN has to ping to an outside server. If net neutrality goes away, VPNs are suspect. You got to keep that in mind, because this allows them to block on any level, a domain level or an IP level. They can't see anything on the VPN, but they can block it all day long. And they probably will. So stop throwing the VPN out as the solution to net neutrality. No. They can block it. That's the problem. Okay, so what's next? Them charging every website? Yes. All right. Best Buy sucks. They have nothing in the store you want. Yeah, I kind of agree with you there. Yeah, Worst Buy does suck. They stock the latest. All this modern stuff like Windows 10, Facebook, and other tools on the web are so great, but it seems to all be tainted by one thing: privacy issues. Yes, that's so core, because I love a lot of the new technology. I just don't want to use any of it because there's too many privacy concerns. Animated background is stuttering sound. Bummer. All right, we'll go back to this one. All right. This one, hopefully not stuttering sound. So then what I'll do is I'm going to have a comparison between these two backgrounds and see if I can figure out what's causing it. Thanks for alerting me to that. Hopefully that is better sound. Clicky audio. I'm going to switch back to that real quick. Yeah, it's not pulling any sound, but oh well. I'll have a look at that later. But yeah, that should be better. I didn't hear anybody complaining about this background. So, use test disk for Linux. I have not. If they block my VPN, then I cancel my internet. Yep, that's what you're going to have to do. You have to use AOL's dial-up. All right. Yep, thanks. If it ever stutters, just let me know. It's some animated backgrounds seem to cause stuttering, and I'm not sure exactly why, so I need to look into those. All right, so this one here, I've talked before a lot about issues with your devices collecting information. Here's a case where, I mean, it's good that they caught the murderer. Where's the bodacious kitty cam? Bodacious kitty cam is right here. Kitty, kitty. Oh, look at that thing. I gotta go pet that kitty belly. Hold on. All right, we're back. All right. So, it's great that they caught the murderer and all, but they used this person's Fitbit to determine her point of death because the Fitbit's recording all of this information. And it's not that it's storing it on the device. The problem is it's storing it to the cloud. That's scary. Scary, scary, scary. But here, this guy, their marriage was on the rocks, and the guy kind of went crazy, killed his wife, blamed some masked intruder, and they determined that his timeline didn't match up according to the data that her Fitbit was sending to the cloud, because they determined that she was alive. Now, they actually verified it with her phone records too, but still, it's kind of creepy to me that they can subpoena your Fitbit data, and since that comes from another company, it's like, you may or may not have to tell them about it. That's kind of scary. And of course, if that's not any better, have a look at this brand new awesome Amazon product. All right, so this is the Echo Look. It is literally okay, let's see if I can get a picture of this thing. This thing's creepy. Okay, there you go. It is an Amazon Echo with an integrated camera that can take pictures in movies. And of course, you keep it in your bedroom, which is just very creepy to me. And so, with that, this thing is like, of course, now you can take the photos, you can share them with your friends, you can store your wardrobe library, and you can even submit these to the service to give you advice on your clothing to make sure you're hip with the current trends. It's like, this is so wrong on so many levels. It's not even, I mean, this is inconceivably wrong. So have a look at this product here. Of course, it's a hands-free camera assistant. Alexa, take a picture. Alexa, take video. I'd say something, but there might be children watching. Okay, so like introducing the style check. I love this picture. Introducing the style check. You know, both bosses look great, but your hair needs some help. All right, literally, like that extended forehead. I mean, this looks like Roger the alien on my bookshelf over here. I mean, that's kind of crazy. Of course, 64% say you should go with this one. 36% you should say go with that one. What is this? The electronic version of the absolutely neurotic. What is the words I'm even looking for? This is like vanity on steroids, people. Do we need this kind of stuff? Of course, what's it going to say next? We have determined, based upon this kind of stuff, we've determined that now you very well might want to buy this and this and this. More stuff. Yeah, I'm gonna keep it on that creepy stuff there. All right, first comment on YouTube. Where are the bodacious kitty cams? Yep. Also, is your live chat a little delayed? I'm back. Yeah, live chat generally is a little bit delayed. That's why when I'm trying to get to comments, I'll try and remember to throw it on the screen so you can see where I'm actually reading right now. Let's see. Yeah, so live chat usually is delayed, I don't know, 30 seconds, a minute or no. And it also depends on if you've paused your video or not. A lot of them seem to have net neutrality in full effect on business connections, while residential home connections are left to just deal with it. Okay. Them cats are just fabulous. Yeah. Oh, he's moving. The kitty is moving. Is he... Oh, he's running away. Oh, he's coming over here. Okay. Yeah. He's coming over here. There you go. I say hi?
Hi, everybody. Contact the SEC and tell them to leave net neutrality alone.
All right. So, share the photos around the world. Yeah, I put a photo of cats in tinfoil hats on the Patreon page. It's a public post over there. So, apparently nobody learned. Yeah. Creepy. Yeah, absolutely. Yep. All right. Let's make a delay test. Please say 3, 2, 1, delay test. Then people in the chat room can respond. 1, 2, 3, test it or something. Just an idea. Okay, are we ready? Here is the official test. 3, 2, 1, delay test. And I'm going to go on to the next scary article here, by the way. Look at this thing. Greetings. He's just chilling. Hey! Alright, so it looks like we're about a minute behind. Alright, so off with the creepy alien. This is an interesting question. So apparently there's this sextortion case, asks if a suspect can be forced to decrypt an iPhone. So this kind of goes back to that question of what is protected under the Fifth Amendment, which of course is the restriction against incriminating yourself. Now, on a device, what has been ruled and found in the cases is that if you lock your device with a fingerprint, oh, look at that cat. Kitty, would you like to unlock the phone? Want to unlock the phone? Yeah, want to unlock the phone? If you lock your device with a fingerprint, you can be compelled to supply a fingerprint because a fingerprint is like a biometric type thing, which is kind of scary in and of itself. However, let's see. He likes playing with pen caps. Want to get a pen cap? Oh yeah. He's like, oh yeah, I'm playing with a pen cap. You better believe it. And so. You get 1 million views on this cat right here. All right. And so what happens is a fingerprint apparently can definitely be compelled, but some people say a passcode can be compelled, and some people say a passcode cannot be compelled. And so with that, people have been asking this question. So in some cases, they said a passcode can be compelled. In some cases, they say they can't. Of course, there's that police officer, former police officer, who's been in jail for 18 months without officially being charged because he will not unlock a seized hard drive that is decrypted or that is encrypted. And so we have these types of questions to ask ourselves. And this is one of those fascinating questions. Like, what is it that, what is the ruling on that? And so that's kind of the issue there. Yes, Kitty. Kitty loves the pen caps. Linux Penguin is wearing a tinfoil hat for sure. Yep. All right. Five, 10 seconds delay here. Okay. All right. Okay, so on to a little bit of security stuff. Apparently there is now a vigilante botnet that is essentially infecting and blocking open ports on insecure IoT devices. Again, just a reminder: be careful of your IoT stuff. You know. So your IoT is it's definitely something that we want to make sure that we're being extremely careful with. We want to make sure that we're not having unsecured stuff out. And frankly, in my opinion, you want to limit your IoT stuff to nothing if you can. It's just more stuff, more junk, more garbage, and maybe it's just something that we could do without. Of course, with this stuff here, it is he's trying to get to the stuff before the blocker bot does, and so that's kind of what's going on here. Now, I did ask the question. Let me find that question again. Here was that question: Why are people not signing up for TV streaming services? So let's throw your thoughts, your comments, your questions, and your discussions in there as I go into the last article here. Then we'll we'll talk about that little question here at the end. But what we're going to do for our very last article is just a little bit different as far as the perspective. And so we're going to have a look at this. And this has more to do with kind of the state of the country. So this came from Consumerist, and 45% of Americans carry at least $25,000 in debt. And that's a lot. Now, of course, some people carry a whole lot more. Some people carry a whole lot less. And the reason I wanted to bring this up is it's kind of the signs of our times. One of the things that I have said in recent years is that I think that all these subscription services are going to bankrupt us. So that's one of the reasons I'm not flocking to live TV streams, is because I just don't want to be paying the extra payments. It's not worth it to me. There's nothing on there, and the last thing I want to do is plop my butt down on a couch and just watch mindless television for a while. And so I'm not really all that interested in that kind of stuff. But 45% of Americans carry at least $25,000 in debt. And I'll tell you that the average student, though, leaves school right now in $35,000 in debt. But this is a bigger pool than that. And there's some interesting things. 47% of customers are carrying at least $25,000 in debt, and excluding mortgages. For all borrowing is $37,000. The higher end of debts, nearly 1 in 10, so 10% of people have over $100,000 in debt. 29% of debt coming from mortgages, 19% from credit cards, 7% from education loans. However, for millennials, the younger generations, 23% of borrowers have outstanding student loans. That means student loans, that they're needing to make their income on, but most people are paying half of their income on that because it's just becoming too outrageously high. When asked about how debt impacted their lives, most consumers reported it was a significant source of stress and pressure. For instance, 4 out of 10 consumers, 40%, had substantial or moderate impact on their financial well-being, while some of the debt was high or moderate. Despite these feelings, when given the choice about how to spend extra $2,000, 6% said they'd use it to pay down such obligations. And so this is the reason I want to pull this out, is just to say, if you find yourself in debt, just progress towards getting out of debt. Pay that stuff off. Just be done with it. Sell a bunch of stuff. And I've been getting more into thinking more and more about this as I've been making more of a switch towards minimalism. Like, I've already, just this week, I started doing minimalism stuff this last week. What is this cat doing? Sheesh. So, pretty much what I've been doing lately, I've taken, I think, 4 or 5 boxes of garbage out to the dumpster. 2 big things to Goodwill, like 2 big boxes to Goodwill. I've already dropped off 10 books to a community library. I have identified the 30 books I'm going to get rid of. I'm just going to disperse them slowly over the next couple of weeks to the community libraries as I go to different places. So that's kind of what I've been doing. But what occurs to me is, as you get more and more motivated to get rid of the excess junk that you have in your house, what starts to happen is you desire less and less things, and desiring less and less things means that you're going to spend a little bit less money. You're going to be less enticed by the marketing and the commercials. You're going to be less enticed to buy more stuff. You'll live a simpler life with more resources. And a simpler life with more resources allows you to do the things that are really important. Like, is it really important to have another gizmo and gadget? Or is it important to spend time out with friends? Or is it important to go and travel? And those are things that make a difference in people's lives. So with that being said, we're going to wrap up the comments here, and then we will wrap up the stream. So let's see where we are. It looks like we did not get a whole lot more comments in, so we might just be done here in a minute. I have a Linux penguin. I just need to make a tinfoil hat. Absolutely. Make that bad boy a tinfoil hat. I should put a tinfoil hat on a penguin. I don't think I have any penguins around here somewhere. All right. Word tinfoil hat is made to make something truth look like nuts. Yeah, that's true. All right. So let's have a look at this question here. Let me find the actual article. It actually came from Consumerist this afternoon is where I saw this. So we're going to come over here, paste and go, and transition. All right, so why aren't more cord cutters flocking to live TV services? So one, some people are saying that they're just too much like cable services. The biggest challenge is with cable services is you have all this extra stuff. And did anybody notice as the channels became more prolific, there became less and less on to watch? And then some people still like pay TV. I guess that's a valid concern. So why have pay TV and a subscription service, although a lot of people do. Playing wait and see. The video technology seems to change moment by moment basis. Customers aren't always eager to be the first to test the latest thing. Of course, even Sling TV said they only have 1.3 million subscribers. Breaking up with cable companies is a pain. I'm not sure why. The cat is purring so loud I can hear him. He likes this. All right. Some people just don't want live TV. I'm kind of in that boat. So those are kind of the thoughts. I hope that was a thoughtful thing for you to think about. So I guess with all that being said, I think we're about to just kind of wrap up this live news stream. I'm not sure when my next one's going to be. Depending on what happens, I may or may not do a live tinfoil hat time. So check on Sunday afternoon, and I'll put it up there if I will or not. I'm not completely sure. If I do, it would probably be around 9-ish or so for a live tinfoil hat time. We'll see though. I got done a whole lot less work than I needed to this week, and so I might have to take the time to just go ahead and get some more work in. I got a couple big projects to wrap up. So with all that being said, thanks for watching, everybody. Have yourself a wonderful evening. And the kitty says,
Good night, everybody, and I hope that you enjoy switching to Linux.
So, thanks for watching, everybody. We will check you guys out later. Once again, if you do want to support the channel, I do have links to Amazon below, or at least I will shortly. And there is also a Patreon page. So, have yourself a wonderful evening, and good night, everybody.